Season 1 of Fate, the WINX Saga begins with Bloom, a fire fairy from Earth, arriving in the magical Otherworld to attend the College of Alfie, a school for fairies and specialists. Bloom is very new to magic, and is a bit of an outcast for being from Earth and not being familiar with Otherworld. She was raised by humans, and had no knowledge of her birth parents or their relation to magic. Bloom's mentor at Alfie is Stella, a fellow fairy who is the daughter of Queen Luna and is the princess of Solaria. Bloom also quickly befriends her new roommates, Aisha, Tara, and Musa. She also begins developing romantic feelings for Sky, which makes Stella jealous and puts a strain on their budding friendship. Sky is a specialist, a warrior trained to protect Otherworld from villainous creatures known as Burned Ones. Sky's father Andreas was a legendary specialist, but after his death, Sky was raised and trained by Andreas' best friend, Alfie's specialist headmaster Sol Silva. Bloom also begins having dreams of a fairy calling out to look for her. Alfie's headmistress Dowling explains to Bloom that the mysterious fairy was Rosalind, Alfie's long-dead former headmistress. Meanwhile, another new fairy student named Beatrix also arrives at Althea, but she seems to have mysterious motives. She begins a relationship with Sky's fellow specialist pal, Riven, and begins suspiciously looking into Headmistress Dowling's secrets. Beatrix discovers a secret room inside Dowling's office, and kills the headmistress assistant, Callum, to prevent anyone from finding out her discovery. Inside that secret room, the captured, but very much alive Rosalind. Beatrix then takes Bloom to a place called Asterdell, explaining that she was born there, but her family and the rest of the town were killed by a military unit from Alfie, who wanted to rid the area of Burned Ones with no regard for collateral damage. Bloom suspects that her own biological parents must have died at Asterdell too. Beatrix explains to Bloom that it was Dowling, Silva, and Tara's father Ben who destroyed Asterdell, and that Dowling currently had Rosalind locked up in a secret room. Before Beatrix can explain any more, Dowling arrives and arrests her. As Bloom plots for a way to rescue Beatrix, Dowling and Silva force Sky to spy on his burgeoning romance. Instead, Sky confesses to Bloom that he had been sent to spy on her and the two share a kiss. With the help of her friends Stella, Musa, and Tara, Bloom breaks Beatrix and Rosalind out of their cells as an army of Burned Ones arrive at Alfie. The now free Rosalind tells Bloom that her biological parents were still alive and explained that the Burned Ones were attacking Alfie to steal Bloom's fire power. But as Rosalind tries to take Bloom's powers for herself, the young fairy realizes that she had been tricked, and that Rosalind was the true villain. Bloom harnesses her powers and uses ancient fairy magic to destroy the Burned Ones and save Alfie. In the aftermath, Bloom brings her friends to Earth to reunite with her adoptive parents and reveal to them her fairy powers. Back in Otherworld, Silva reveals to Sky that Andreas had been present for the destruction of Asterdell. Rosalind had instructed Silva, Andreas, Ben, and Dowling to destroy the town, but Silva feared for the safety of the innocent townspeople. When Andreas wanted to obey Rosalind's commands and attack anyway, Silva was forced to kill his best friend. Unfortunately, he was too late, and Asterdell was destroyed. The Solarians then arrive with Queen Luna and a very much alive Andreas. Sky and Silva are shocked that Andreas is alive, and Silva is arrested for Andreas' attempted murder. It turns out, Andreas had faked his death on Rosalind's orders to go into hiding and raise the orphaned Beatrix. Meanwhile, Dowling confronts Rosalind, who explains that the Burned Ones were created using an ancient magic known as Dragon Flame, the same magic that burned within Bloom. Rosalind believed a war was coming, and that Bloom's powers were key to stopping it. Rosalind also didn't believe that Dowling had what it takes to properly train the students of Alfie, so she breaks Dowling's neck and buries her. When Bloom and her friends arrive back at Alfie, they discover that Queen Luna has placed Rosalind in charge as the